So hello everyone, good evening, how are you all? So welcome back with the session, and here guys we are discussing all those questions which are important not only for the railways but also for the SSC examinations. And yes, I have kept the question of that level which will be relevant for the both, because as we know in the RRB examinations the level is quite lesser, or we can say RRB asks the basic level of the questions, but in the SSC you might find some moderate or typical level of questions which are in front of you. So the first question is here: to use a concave mirror as a shaving mirror, where should the face of the person be positioned relative to the mirror? Now guys, as we discussed in the past class, that is yesterday, I have already given you the trick. Convex, that helps in decreasing the size of the image. The best example will be rear view mirrors and the side mirrors of your vehicles. But if I talk about concave, so here enlarged version of the images are seen, and here the example can be ENT doctors use it, dentists use it, even our headlights of the automobiles. All these are the examples of concave, but the question is quite different. Here the question is to use a concave mirror as a shaving mirror, that is for the enlarging of the images. Where should the face of a person be positioned relative to the mirror? So should it be at the center of the curvature of the mirror, or should it be between the focus and the pole of the mirror? So guys, here the ray diagrams will help you out, and yes, the correct answer is going to be between the focus and pole of the mirror. That is option number B will be the correct answer. Let me check how many of you have given the B answer. So no one, huh? So yes, when the object is placed between the P and F, it forms virtual, erect and magnified image, and if we are aware of this thing, we can directly say that yes, B will be the answer, right? Okay, next question is from chemistry, and the question is: when an aqueous solution of lead nitrate reacts with potassium iodide, a yellow precipitate is formed. What is that yellow compound? So what do you think guys should be the correct answer for the same? Yeah. So when an aqueous solution of lead nitrate reacts with the potassium iodide, a yellow precipitate is formed. What is this yellow compound? Is it potassium nitrate? Is it lead oxide? Is it lead iodide? Or is it potassium iodate? Guys, do not worry. These type of questions are very simple, and if you are aware of the displacement reactions, you can easily take care. So it's lead nitrate that is reacting with the potassium iodide. So what will happen? Here it will form the potassium nitrate and it will be lead iodide. So it's asking about the yellow colored precipitate, and this yellow colored precipitate, I mean the yellow compound, will be what? Lead iodide. So this is the lead here, that's the iodide. So we can also link it with the double displacement reaction, right? So here the correct answer will be lead iodide, that is option number C. So do you know what is double displacement reaction and what is displacement reaction? So let's say the reaction was like this, and if this is formed, this is the example of displacement reaction. Fine, but if this is the reaction in which this is formed, so these are the products and these are reactants, so this will be the example of double displacement reaction. And as discussed in the very starting, I am discussing all those questions which are asked in the examination previously, and also I'm including all the explanations. Just see, this is the reaction. So lead nitrate, when it was reacting with the potassium iodide, it formed lead iodide and the potassium nitrate. So yes, the yellow precipitate that was asked in the question, it's of lead iodide. So the lead iodide is insoluble in water, and hence it precipitates out as a brilliant yellow solid. So yes, that's why option number C was the correct answer. Next. So guys, all the questions are based on NCERT, and if we'll go with just basic level again and again, so that is not going to be beneficial for the examination. That's why I need to keep this level. It will not only clear up your all the doubts, but also you'll be ready for the examination and you can get selected in the first go. Okay, so here the question is from physics. The question is: what are the essential physical characteristics of a material that is used to manufacture a safety fuse wire for the domestic circuits? Do you remember in the past class, I mean yesterday only, we have discussed this. So we are using about the safety instruments. So here we can discuss about the MCBs as well, that is miniature circuit breakers. So in the case that current is rising rapidly, we'll say that short circuiting is there. So that short circuiting can create several issues, right? So in order to keep our home safe, in order to keep our electric equipment safe, so what we can do, we can use the fuse. So fuse consists of a wire which has low melting point, so that if temperature rises, that wire can melt, and melting of that wire will break the circuit, and hence the supply of the current will stop. So this is the question that is asked. So what are the essential physical characteristics of a material which is used for manufacturing the safety fuse wire for domestic circuits? So it should have low melting point. So yes, high melting point, these options can be eliminated. This is known as option elimination. Now guys, we have two more options, but both are having low melting point. Now tell me, should it have low resistivity or should it have high resistivity? So here you must remember that here it should have high resistivity, because what is resistance? See, if I talk about resistivity and resistance, you must understand about the both the things. So see, resistivity is basically the intrinsic property of a material, right? Resistance is actually the obstruction in the flow of charge, right? So if I'll just write the formula of the resistance, it's R is equal to rho L by A, where this rho is resistivity and R is resistance, where resistance is directly proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the area. And this was the question which was asked previously. Let's say there's a wire of length L, and I divided this wire into 5 equal parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what will be the resistance of the single part? So there will be no change in the resistance, no change in the resistivity, because resistivity doesn't depend upon the length. Yes, resistance depends upon the length. So in short, here for this question, high resistivity and low melting point will be the correct answer. And yes, all the candidates who are going with option number D, they all are correct. Perfect. So that's done. So a fuse wire must generate heat quickly when excessive current passes. That is, I'm talking about the short circuiting. To protect appliances, it must melt instantly to break the circuit where a threshold heat is reached. Now I have one more question. Guys, how much heat is generated? How can you actually tell that? So for this, you need to know about the Joule's law of heating effect. And what is the formula for the same? The formula for the same is H is equal to I square RT. H is equal to I square RT, where H is the heat, I is the current, R is the resistance, and T is the temperature. So yep, here the relation with the heat is given here, and the questions are directly asked from this particular formula as well. Okay, so this question is also solved now. What's the next question? The next question is again from the chemistry, and the question is, what is the correct ratio of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid required to prepare aqua regia? 3 is to 1 respectively, 1 is to 3 respectively, 3 is to 2 respectively, or 1 is to 1 respectively. So what is aqua regia? Aqua regia is that liquid which can even dissolve gold. So see, gold doesn't react with any acid. You need to create that acid, that is aqua regia, which has HCl and HNO3 in it. So how many parts of HCl? So it's 3 parts of HCl and 1 part of HNO3. So the molar ratio is basically 3 is to 1. What is the molar ratio? The molar ratio is 3 is to 1. So here 3 parts of HCl and 1 part of HNO3, that is 3 is to 1 will be the perfect option. And 3 is to 1, 1 is to 3, so they are not the options. We can eliminate that. So please check. So concentrated HCl is coming in the first part. So yes, 3 for HCl and 1 for HNO3. So this time option number A will be the perfect answer. So what is the answer? Option number A. I guess this part is sorted, guys. If, do you have any doubts, any queries? Let me check the comment section. And all the candidates who are there in the class, at least mark your attendance so that I can get to know who all are present in the class. Fine. Okay, next. What is the next question? So this was sorted. Option number A was the correct answer. Again, it's from the chemistry. Okay. The question is, which of the following metallic oxides is amphoteric in nature, reacting with both acids and bases to form salt and water? Guys, for the amphoteric oxide, I'll say that this is most important question. It's again and again asked. So the amphoteric oxides are the ones which can react with both acid and bases to form salt and water, and here the perfect answer is Al2O3, that is aluminium oxide. So here's the complete explanation. And one more thing, not only Al2O3 but also ZnO. So most metal oxides are basic, but some like aluminum oxide and zinc oxide, they show both acidic and basic behaviors. So yep, they form salt and water by reacting with both bases as well as the acids. So Al2O3, this everyone knows, but you must be aware of zinc oxide as well, because obviously we don't know. The examination might put any of the options in the exam. Okay, so that's done. Now the next question is from the bio. What is the primary evolutionary advantage of having a complete double circulatory system in birds and mammals? So we both have double circulatory system, and also we both are warm-blooded animals. So birds, we obviously we are in the category of mammals, so it's about the same. So let's see what's the correct option for the same. It decreases the speed of blood flow inside arteries. It allows the heart to beat at a slower rate. It prevents mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood for highly efficient oxygen delivery. And option number D is it allows them to change body's temperature matching surroundings. So what should be the correct answer, guys? You have four options. Let us see what will be the correct answer. So since it is talking about the double circulatory system, as we know, when the blood flows through our heart, first blood comes from whole part of the body towards the heart. It is actually brought from veins, and when blood is actually pumped out from the heart, it moves via arteries towards all the parts of the body. Correct. So when the blood is taken in, it comes from superior vena cava or inferior vena cava. When the blood is thrown out, that's the oxygenated blood, and it comes out through aorta. And for that part, you can just see it decreases the speed of blood flow inside the artery. Doesn't make any sense. It allows the heart to beat at a slower rate. No. So for the heart to um, uh, in order to maintain the speed, there's a natural pacemaker, and the answer is sinoatrial node for the same. Right? That is a natural pacemaker. Yes, this question was asked in the examination. The third option that is given to you is it prevents mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood for highly efficient oxygen delivery. That's the perfect option. So here we can go with option number C. So C is done. So warm-blooded animals have high energy demands to maintain a constant body temperature. So a complete four-chambered heart prevents oxygenated and deoxygenated blood from mixing, ensuring a highly efficient supply of oxygen to the tissues. Guys, wanna see the functioning of the heart? Guys, I can even open the heart and show it to you. But I want that in the comment section. If you people will say, I'll surely show you. Otherwise, I can just draw and tell you. So yes, this is our heart. These are the four chambers of the heart. This is right atrium. This is left atrium. This is right ventricle. And this is left ventricle. These are the four chambers of the heart, where the upper part is the smaller one and the lower part is the larger one, right? And yes, these are the four chambered heart system which is present in our body. So okay, fine. So this is sorted. Next, what's the next question? The next is, unlike the transport of water in xylem, how does the translocation of food in phloem tissue occurs? It is an active process that requires energy input from ATP. The full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. It relies solely on transpiration, pull, and gravity. So transpiration is the process that is observed in the plants. It's like these are the leaves. So the laws of water through this plant leaves, that's what transpiration is. And transpiration is much more for the leaves with the broader area, and it's lesser for the leaves with the thin part. So yes, it depends upon the surface area. For the same reason, the plants which are there in the desert region, there we have thorn-like structures, and those thorn-like structures are actually preventing the maximum loss of water, which keeps them alive. Okay. Next, it occurs unidirectionally from the roots to the leaves, and the fourth one is it occurs passively via physical diffusion forces only. So unlike transport of the water in the xylem, how does translocation of the food in the phloem tissue occur? So it's an active process that requires energy input from ATP. So what will be the answer? We'll go with option number A. So let me check if you have any doubts or queries. Is there any doubt in the comment section? No. Okay. So that's done. Moving forward to the next question. Let's see what's the next one. So the next question is this. Okay. So that's from bio. Okay. So from the bio, it's from nervous system basically. What form does information take it crosses the synapse, that is the gap between the two consecutive neurons? First one is high frequency electromagnetic waves, physical vibration of cell membranes, continuous electrical pulses, or chemical signals released as neurotransmitters. What do you think is the correct answer for the same? So guys, see what happens if I talk about a nervous system. So nervous system is designed in a way, let's say if I'm holding a water bottle and I feel like, oh, it's quite cold. How that information is coming? When you're holding that water, now the neurons are taking those signals to your brain. The brain's processing takes place. It understands, so this is cold. It again sends the signal back via motor neurons, and now you can understand this is cold or hot, right? So that's the part of the brain, basically in the forebrain region. So here, what is the answer? So what form does information take it crosses the synapse? So that's the chemical signals released by the neurotransmitter. So option number C will option number D will be the correct answer. Next, so D is the correct answer. Next is from chemistry. Okay, so the question is, galvanization is a method of protecting steel and iron from rusting by coating them with a thin layer of which active metal? So is it chromium, is it zinc, is it tin, or is it aluminium? What do you think is the correct answer? So is galvanization is a process in which we prevent iron from rusting. So in order to prevent iron from rusting, we have several methods. We can go for oiling, we can go for greasing. So oiling, greasing, painting, all these are different phenomena by which we can prevent iron from rusting. But here you must remember we're talking about a galvanization process in which the coating of the zinc is done, which prevents again iron from rusting. So what is the answer? Zinc. That is option number B is the correct answer. But if you look into the PYQs, its atomic number is also asked. The atomic number of zinc is 30. So the atomic number of the elements and all, you need to remember them because they are again and again asked in the examination. So this is also sorted. What's the next question? Next is again from chemistry. Okay. Question is, by what chemical formula unit and molecular mass unit do any two successive members of homologous series differ? So you have the question here, and let me see who can answer this part, because I think you can at least you can answer this section because this is important one. What do you think is the correct answer? No one? Okay. So guys, see, carbon has 12 units. At least you know this. Now guys, if I talk about the hydrocarbons, for the alkanes, what is the general formula? For the alkanes, the general formula is CnH2n plus 2. For alkene, it is CnH2n, and for alkyne, it is CnH2n minus 2. These are the general formulas, right? Now guys, by what chemical formula unit and molecular mass unit do any two successive members of the homologous series differ? So first of all, let's go with CH4, right? Then we can go for C2H6. Then we can go for C3H8. Now just see the difference. There's a difference of one carbon everywhere. So one carbon, and in all the places, see two's difference, two's difference. So can you just see the difference? Carbon is differentiating by 1 and hydrogen is differentiating by 2. So here CH2, so either B will be the answer or C will be the answer, right? Now since we are talking about the carbon, as discussed, it's 12 units and 1 unit for single hydrogen, so it will be 12 plus 2 cross 1, so it will be 14, and you can just see the 14 in option number C. Any doubts, guys? Because see, these questions are simple, but the point is it looks like it is typical. So if you wanna understand it in the better way, I can teach you it again. See, what is the general formula for the alkene? The general formula for the alkene is CnH2n plus 2. So the first member of the alkene will be methane, then ethane, then propane, and so on. So just look at the differences. I'll just change the color and make you understand in the better way. What is the difference? So one carbon was here, two carbons are here. So there's a difference of one carbon. Again, just check here also. After 2, 3 is coming. One carbon difference is there. For the hydrogen, there's a difference of 2 hydrogen. Again, we have the difference of 2 hydrogen. Which means we can say all the formulas are differentiating by CH2. So now talking about the units. So 12 units is for the carbon and 1 unit is for the hydrogen. C single, so it's 12. Hydrogen we have 2, so it's 2 cross 1. So that's 14 units basically. So 14 units and CS2, 14 units CS2. So C is the answer. Yes, you need to go in this depth, this much depth if you want to crack CGL examination. Although this is not typical, but the point is the freshers who are actually preparing for this examination, they feel like it's quite typical, but it's not. So wherever you feel like you need any help, if you feel like this is typical, sir, can we have another session for the same? I can even take separate sessions apart from this. I'll take these sessions regularly in order to make you understand how questions are framed. But wherever you feel like, sir, can you please teach that topic plus, or sir, can you please teach this topic? I am always ready for you. But I want that you must start answering in the comment section, and also after the class you must support in the comment section as well, where you can actually ask your doubts, you can ask your queries, everything. Next. Okay, again this is from the chemistry. The question is, at what temperature must gypsum be heated carefully to obtain plaster of Paris without rendering it anhydrous? So you have 4 options. Now guys, first of all, what is gypsum? So the formula for the gypsum is CaSO4 dot 2H2O. That's the formula for the gypsum. What about plaster of Paris? The formula for the plaster of Paris is CaSO4 dot half H2O. So the formula for the gypsum is CaSO4 dot 2H2O, and the formula for the plaster of Paris is CaSO4 dot half H2O. Now, in order to make plaster of Paris, it must be heated with some temperature, and that's what question is being asked here. So that is what? That is 373 Kelvin, right? So you need to remember, actually in your previous year examination paper, it was asked in degree centigrade, but here I framed it with the Kelvin part. So if you'll add up 273 with 100, it is going to give you 373. So 373 will be the perfect option for the same. Is it clear? Perfect. So that's again done. That's great. Proceeding further. Yeah. So 373 is option number A. Next, it's some physics. What is the nature and relative size of the image formed by the concave mirror when the object is placed inside its focus? Will it be real inverted diminished? Will it be virtual erect magnified? Will it be real inverted magnified? Or will it be virtual erect and diminished? So what do you think will be the correct answer here? So guys, here the correct answer will be, see, since it is the concave mirror, and one more thing, the object is placed inside its focus, so image will obviously be magnified, but will it be virtual erect magnified or real inverted magnified? That's the point. So here it will be virtual and erect, so obviously option number C can be eliminated. So it is virtual, erect and magnified, and you must remember the positions at which object is kept and where images are formed. So yep, we'll go with option number B. Next, it's again from the physics. Okay, so why suddenly why does a standing passenger in a moving bus stumble forward when the driver suddenly applies brake? So this was the first question yesterday, and we have discussed about the law of inertia in the yesterday's class. Remember what was it? So we can link it with the Newton's first law as well, but obviously Galileo Galilei gave it first, that is law of inertia. What does it mean? So if a body is in a state of rest, it wants to be in the state of rest. If a body is in a state of uniform motion, it wants to be in the state of uniform motion. Until and unless an external force is applied on it, it won't change. That means it's the resistance to change. Now, just look at the question. So when a passenger is standing in a bus, I mean the bus is moving. So obviously passenger is also moving. So it cannot be the inertia of rest because passenger is actually moving, right? So since passenger is moving, the lower part of the body is in the contact with the bus, so that particular part was also moving, so that was the inertia of motion, right? Now, so here the centrifugal force or due to gravity acting horizontally, these two options cannot be there. B and C can directly be eliminated, right? Now, since the body was in the state of motion, so the whole body was moving. Now suddenly brakes are applied. Now when brakes are applied, the lower portion of the body comes to the rest first, but this upper portion of the body is still moving. It actually wants to move. So when brakes are suddenly applied, because the upper part of the body was still moving, that's the example of inertia of motion. So here the inertia of motion of the upper body, because the lower part of the body was in the contact with the bus, it also stopped when the bus was stopped. But the upper body, due to inertia of motion, it tends to fall. I guess this is clear and it's very important to understand because confusion is just here. Most of us give the correct answer by just looking at this part, but you need to focus on this part. It is talking about which section, right? So this is also done. Next, the next is here. That's from physics. Question is, which of the following correctly describes the nature of the magnetic field lines inside a current carrying straight solenoid? So they are circular concentric loops near the central axis. The magnetic field loops drops to zero at the exact center. They are parallel straight lines indicating a uniform magnetic field. They diverge radially outwards from the central axis. So what do you think is the correct answer for the same? Okay. So since we are talking about the magnetic field, so yesterday we have already discussed this electromagnetic induction. If you remember, when the magnet was moved, electric field was generated, there was an induced current. That was the concept of Michael Faraday, right? So which of the following correctly describes the nature of the magnetic field lines inside a current carrying state solenoid? They are circular concentric loops near the center axis. The magnetic field drops to zero at the exact center. They are parallel straight lines indicating a uniform magnetic field. And yes, option number C is the perfect answer. Is it okay, guys? Fine. So this is again done. Next is from bio. In humans, how is the biological sex of a newborn determined genetically? So, is the sex of a child determined by the father? Is the sex of the child determined by the mother? Is the sex of the child determined by both? Or sex of the child cannot be determined? What do you think should be the correct answer? If you know this answer, you can just let me know. Let me check the comment section if someone is answering this. No, no one has answered this. Okay, but no worries, I'll explain you. So see what happens. Male have XY chromosomal pair and female have XX as the pair. Now what happens if I talk about the gametes? So male gametes are the sperms and female gametes are egg cells. So when they combine, the number of chromosomes are actually halved. So 23 chromosomes are there in the sperm, 23 chromosomes are there in the egg, and finally they form the zygote, which is again 46, which gives us clarity that half of the chromosomes are coming from father and half of the chromosomes are coming from mother. Okay. So now guys, since half of the chromosomes are coming from father, so it will be like 22 plus, since male has XY, so either X will come or Y will come. So let's say X came. Mother doesn't have any option, it's just X or X, so it's 22 plus X. In this case, when this will combine, it will give you 44 plus XX, that is female child will be formed. But if it's 22 plus Y, and here if it is 22 plus X, in this case 22 plus 22 will be 44 plus XY, that is male child will be formed. Getting my point? So yes, here by the type of sex chromosomes inherited from the father, no need to go with the other options because it's the father only who determines the sex of the child, and it's very important one. Okay, so that's okay. Okay guys, so now it's the 16th question. Buckminsterfullerene is an allotrope of carbon. What is its chemical structure and carbon count? So guys, since we are talking about the Buckminsterfullerene, this is the allotrope of carbon. What is it? That's the allotrope of carbon. So there are three allotropes of carbon: diamond, graphite, and the fullerene. So diamonds and graphite's shape are hexagonal and tetrahedral, but here it's football-like or cage-like structure. So a linear polymeric chain of 100 carbons, a planar hexagonal layer of 24 carbon atoms, a tetrahedral network of similar to the diamond with 12 carbons, or is it soccer ball shaped cluster of 60 carbon atoms? So guys, here we can go with the option elimination as well, because we know it will be spherical shape in structure. So that is option number D is the correct answer. So soccer ball shaped with 60 carbon atoms. What is the next question? The next question is from bio. Which asexual reproduction method is utilized by yeast where a small outgrowth develops into a new individual? So is it binary fission? Is it fragmentation, budding, or spore formation? So guys, question is asked from yeast. I'll give you the example of Hydra. So let's say this is the structure of the parent. Now a small bud is there which starts to develop, and once it's fully developed, that is separated. So this process is known as budding, and the same concept is seen in the yeast as well. So I'll go with budding. That is option number C will be the correct answer. And the same question is asked from the Hydra part as well. Okay, next. Next is from the physics again, and the question is, which of the following media does a sound travel with the highest velocity? So solid is on the top, second is liquid, third one is gas, and it doesn't travel in the vacuum as we know. So it's distilled liquid water, solid iron, highly compressed helium gas, or vacuum. So vacuum, because sound is a mechanical wave, it cannot travel through vacuum. And do not get confused with these options. They are simple. So just link it with the solid, and solid iron or steel bars will be the perfect option for the same. Right? That's great, man. Proceeding further, and let's see what's the next question. The next question is here. That's from the chemistry. Rainwater is officially classified as the acid rain when its pH value drops below at what threshold? So since it is talking about the acid rain, so you must understand what is acid rain, guys. Acid rain is a rain which is formed because of these particular gases. So SO2, when it reaches the atmosphere, it gets combined with the water. That forms sulfurous acid. Mark my terms, it's not sulfuric, it's sulfurous. And finally, this sulfuric acid, when it is formed, when it comes down in the form of acid. So that's an acid rain. Similarly, there are other gases as well, like NOx. When they react, they form nitric acid. So yep, when these gases come down in the form of acid, their pH value is lesser than 5.5. So it's 5.6, 5.7, 6.5 or 3. So here the correct answer will be less than 5.6, and hence option number A is the correct answer. Fine. So that's all from mine, guys. And yes, after every question I'm giving these explanations. You can download it from the application. These files are present there. Now it's a homework question for you all, and that is the question from bio section. Please answer this in the comment section. What is the primary role of bile juice secreted by the liver inside the small intestine during digestion? To chemically break down starch into glucose, to chemically digest complex proteins into amino acids, to make the food acidic for pepsin to function, to make the food alkaline and emulsify large globules of fats. So these are the 4 options. I want this answer in the comment section. Please let me know. And also if you want to go with the paid batches, you can just go to the Google, you'll type Oliveboard there. And once you click Oliveboard, first link that pops up, just click on it. Here we have this part, that is SSC plus Railway Super Elite Batch, which has both Hindi and English medium courses. Just click on it. And when you just click on it, you'll find that there are 1200 live sessions for SSC exams, 600 plus live sessions of the RRBs, 300 plus concept videos, 900 plus mock tests, typing tests, everything is here. So for this, you can just click on Enroll Now option. And when you click here, for the maximum discount, you can use the code SUPER. So just scroll it down. Here, just type the code SUPER. Apply the coupon code. And that's done. So guys, for the maximum discount, you can use the code SUPER. And we have these sessions daily from Monday to Friday. So now we'll meet on Monday then. So on the Monday, we'll have the live test. And from the Tuesday onwards, again, we'll continue with the same series. Now, please tell me in the comment section, are you liking this part? And should we continue with the science or should we start with the GKGS as well? So that's what I wanted to know from you people. So that's all for the day. Please take care, and for examination, all the very best. Bye bye guys.